is up, you guys? Welcome back to either the podcast or my vlog channel, where I just basically share the video form of all of my podcasts because I am someone that loves to consume video. Listen, if you're here on the podcast, let me know. If you're here on video, oh, we have a little friend. Gotta fix your bow tie. Say hello. How are you guys? So if you're listening on video, I need to know, like, who's here on video on my channel, who is here on Instagram is definitely here because the DMs are just flowing in. If you hear the vibrating noises, that's my DMs coming through. And yes, just so you know, I am the one that answers my own messages. I am a human and it is me answering your messages. I do believe in answering DMs. I feel like it's so, like, I don't love when people talk at people on social media. I'm a human. I want to talk to you guys. So I was very compelled this morning to talk about branding on my branding page. So I have a business, social media, branding, all things, you know, how to build a business online, and it's called Build a Content Machine. And I post on there every so often. I wish that I would post on there more often, but you know, every 2 weeks or so. This morning, I wanted to talk about all of my opinions on branding. So let's jump into it. Let's make this down and dirty. Hopefully you can, you know, feel more confident after this video with your branding and leaving this and feeling like you have an angle. Now, before we jump into this, or maybe at the end actually, I would love to know, what do you struggle with most with branding? Because that's like, I want to look through the comments and I want to help you and maybe kind of direct some content towards that. But with branding, like, is it just the concept of branding? Is it choosing a color and a font? Is it having an identity? Is it the confidence? Like, talk to me about this because I would love to know. So on this page, I posted this cute little pink sofa area with palm leaves and a neon sign, and it just had all the vibes. By the way, my neon sign turned off last week and I thought it was donezo forever and I was so sad. Oh, that would have been horrible. I don't even know how I would fix that. Anywho, branding. Okay, let's jump into this, and I want to take you guys through my top 3 basically opinions of branding and the way that I feel a killer brand just nails it. So if you're trying to brand yourself properly online and really create a voice for yourself, I feel like this is where to start. So in my opinion, in my humble opinion, great branding comes from incredible direction on your page, consistency, but more than anything else, more than a Lightroom preset, more than a beautiful camera with the right lighting, it comes from the ability to evoke a certain emotion in a person consistently. And if you can have that person, if you can have your viewer or your consumer or your target clientele or just, you know, your girl gang, like your ultimate people that you have that you want to consume your product, if you have them coming back of that pure desire to have that emotion evoked in themselves, then you're winning. That to me is branding. That is powerful branding. That is the best form of branding. And the reason that I say this is I started to look at people that I followed and just how I was feeling. So, you know, you can feel a certain way from colors. You know, I did a call, and I would love to share it on this page and like redo it for you guys, but I did this awesome call for my team. And when I say call, it's basically a video conference like this where they hop on live and I take their questions. And I had prepared this and I took them through all of the brandings of certain colors and how a color evokes a certain emotion. And you might have learned this like back in school. Like, I had a class on this in high school and I was always fascinated by it. And I kind of just doubled down on it and did a little bit of digging into just the mindset and concept of what certain colors mean and what certain colors evoke in our own emotion. And that can play heavily into your brand. But just thinking about color, like the color pink is like very feminine, very soft. And I struggled with having pink as a branding color for a long time because I didn't own who I was. I wasn't comfortable in being just, you know, we're going to be a female dominated brand. Team Uproar is mostly women. Like, I wasn't comfortable in that. And I think that took a certain level of confidence, just being like, listen, I'm the chick that when I was 10 years old, I had a rotary. Is that a rotary phone? I'm dating myself. It was just for looks. I didn't actually. Well, no, I think I did use it, but it was fuzzy. It was like a pink. It was made of feathers. It was like a fuzzy phone. If anybody else had one, tell me more. Is there one in this? No, there is a rotary phone in this picture though that I posted. But that was me to a core. Like I had those pens with like the little fluff ball at the top, like in Clueless. That is how I am. It really is me to my core. I am a girly girl. I love the color pink, and just owning that and not trying to be too, dare I say, selfish with your brand and being like, I want to appeal to everyone and anyone, and I want everyone to buy from me. If you can zone in on just what, gets you excited, like what do you nerd out about? Like just me talking about my weird rotary phone, I'm getting amped up. Like I love it. And I think that being okay with that, and if you're someone that you like clean colors and clean lines and like uniformity and tone on tone, maybe black and white is your brand. And I know tons of people that do that and they do it very, very well. So a color can evoke a certain feeling. When you think of Crown Royal, purple and like that velvety purple, that's luxury. When you think of yellow and like the yellow smiley face, like that hippie smiley face, it's happiness. It's the sun. It's, there's all these different colors evoke a certain emotion. Brands do the same thing if they do it well. So that's number one. I want you to understand that when you're thinking about your page, your Instagram page, your blog, what you're posting on your videos, that's Carl, what you're posting on your videos and what you're posting on your page, the main goal is always to evoke a certain emotion and a certain feeling in that person. So that's number one, and just being aware of that. But let's talk about the brands that you do love and maybe being able to zone in on what you are. Like, I feel like you're here because you're probably thinking, okay, help me. Well, I want to know what I am. And that's really, brand identity is like a hard thing because you have to really understand who you are. That's why I thoroughly have this new pet peeve for any social media influencers or people that are trying to help that say, well, I don't know what I do. Dude, be self-aware. You got to know what you do. You've got to be able to understand what, especially if you're going to try teaching it. That's where I want to help you with this, okay? So this is something that I learned early on, and I learned my lesson. I used to buy branding books all the time. I would try and buy social media books and Instagram books and YouTube books. And I just wanted to consume content and learn and understand how to grow a business on social media. And when I would search the people that were writing these freaking books, not only was what they were putting into action not working, they didn't have the followers to back it up. I had more followers than they did. I swear, one author that I had bought his book, he had less than 1,000 followers. And you're writing a book on how to tell me to grow. And I think I had 1,000 followers at the time. I remember thinking, oh my goodness, well, if what this person is saying is obviously not working for them, then why am I listening, right? And the other thing is, if they can't be so self-aware as to what they're doing and being able to help that and to be able to duplicate that for you, that's the frustrating part. So I'm going to do my best to try and help you. And I've become very self-aware in what I do and the way that I can try and help you recreate that. So one thing that I tried to look at to figure out my own branding was I started looking at the brands that I loved. And I'm doing this, I guess you call it personal development right now. If you've never heard of Masterclass, it's awesome. I love Masterclass. And I totally bought into it because Bob Iger, who was the CEO of Disney, love him. His class is probably my favorite, but he talks about the brand values of Disney, and he talks about the emotion that is evoked when you think of Disney. And this is not going to be a Disney nerd out moment. Don't worry. I know if you guys are on the video, you can see my little Mickey and Minnie behind me. But there is a certain emotion, when you look at anything Disney, you're brought back to probably that state when you maybe as a child when you visited the parks or you watched the movies or you experienced Mickey Mouse for the first time. Like, you have that emotion. So it doesn't have to be Disney. It can literally be anything. But what I would love for you to do is either drop in the comments down below, write it down on a notepad. But what are your favorite brands that you follow? And we'll get into the emotions after, but just people you follow. It can be bloggers. It can be fashion designers. It can be editors, it can be writers, it can be actors, it can be, that girl that takes a really great picture in a bikini on Instagram that we're just like, how are you so cute? Though, like, it can be anybody and, anyone, and I'll just name a couple that I personally love. So obviously I follow all of the Disney pages. I love following like Disney food pages unless they get super negative, and I unfollowed a couple this week. And this has to do with branding. I followed these pages because they evoked a certain emotion. And when they started to become a negative clickbait page, unfollowed. That's what happens when you shift your branding, when you pull the rug from under your followers and you shift that emotion that you sought out to have them, feel when they came to follow you. And if you flip that switch, that's why they unfollow you. You flipped the narrative on them. They don't want to feel that way anymore. And I think that's a great example. So with Disney pages that I follow, if it's happy and it's quirky, and like my favorite ones are literally just the people that are walking around the park. They don't talk. They're just walking around the park and I can just hear the area music. That's why whenever Andre and I are in Disney and I do stories, I often don't, I do talk because I do talk a lot, but often if I'm just walking around, I don't say anything. And it's just us walking around because I know that that's what matters to me. So evoking that sense of, memories of when you were in the park. So things like that. But let's talk about, like a fashion designer. So some of my favorite fashion people to follow, there's like all these different fashion, like hippie, fashionable, like wanderlust, amazing humans. Some of my favorites, Jordan Underwood, Laura Beverlin. I love Miss Allison Bickerstaff. Love her. But these are like fashiony, wanderlust, hippie vibes, like very just like whimsical and just fabulous women that are in my age range that I just look at them and I'm like, they can put an outfit together like it's nobody's business. I can't do that. And the emotion that it evokes in me is they got their act together. And if I could just live vicariously through them, that would be great. Like I am by no means a fashion page. I can get dressed up, but right now I am wearing a tie-dye jumpsuit, comfort first with a top knot. So I wouldn't exactly classify myself as having my act together in the fashion department. But that's why I love following pages like that. Any health and fitness pages like a Kayla, oh my gosh, I always get her name wrong. And she only has 12 million some followers on Instagram. So of course I would get her name wrong. You guys, I don't want to butcher it. I always say Itsins and I know that that's wrong. Itsins. I love her. Melissa Wood Health, love her. And Melissa, I think it's Melissa Wood Health. I just started following her. Same with Skinny Confidential. Love Skinny Confidential. I did not just start following Skinny Confidential. I actually followed Melissa Wood Health because of Skinny Confidential. And I follow these pages, especially the health and fitness ones, because they just evoke, and this is going to sound so weird, all three do this. They evoke this sense of fun in the summertime. And it brings me back to feeling like I'm a kid. Sarah's Day does this also. They're always in the water. They're either poolside, ocean, surfing. They're in the water all the time, and all four of them, and just all the summer vibes all the time. And I love it. And they're not necessarily all about fitness all the time. It's more their life, but I just love how they're sharing their life, and there's just that vibe of it takes me back. So it's very nostalgic for me. It's weird. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but they do it very, very well. It takes me back to just feeling like a kid in the summer. And I just literally smell the sunscreen. That's the best way to explain it. I can smell the sunscreen when I go onto their pages, which I love. So hopefully that's just getting your wheels turning as to pages that you love to follow. But it can be anything. It can be, my dog has an Instagram page. Like you might just like to follow dog pages. Whatever it might be, there is a reason why you follow these pages. So once you have your list of just your favorite pages to follow, anyone from Buff Bunny to The Rock. That was so cute. That was like a very similar Buff Bunny and The Rock. Write out an entire list of just all the people that you love to follow. It can be anybody for any reason, and just have that list out. And then next to each of these accounts that you follow, what's the feelings that you get? For like name 2 to 3 emotions that you get when you go watch this person's either YouTube videos, or when you watch their stories, or when you read their blog, or when you look at their posts. What emotions do you feel? Just in a word. So a couple that I wrote out in that post were, is it a positive emotion, or does it evoke like drama? Maybe you love the drama, that's why we all watch Real Housewives. But what does it evoke? Is it positive? Is it nostalgic? Like I said, because for me, that was a big one. Is it inspiring? Is it luxurious? Does it make you dream bigger? Does it make you feel like anything is possible? Does it make you feel truly happy? Does it make you think? Does it ignite your inner fire? And does it make you laugh out loud? You guys, I have to tell you about my new favorite Instagram page. This is why I love this YouTube channel and my podcast, because it's totally just tangents and I love it. You guys, the Leslie Jordan on Instagram. This is an example of laughing out loud and following someone for pure joy. And he will never flip the script on me because his page, this is branding, okay? This is an example of it does not matter what your preset is. It does not matter what your lighting looks like. It does not matter if you have the best caption. It matters if you are consistent in the emotion that you want to evoke in your following. So Leslie Jordan basically has a page of a bunch of videos, and they're all about, I don't know, 30 seconds, 15 seconds?
Well, hi, what are y'all doing?
Love.
I've been hearing all this stuff about cancel. To tell somebody, you canceled. All the kids say that.
I love him so much.
You know, the cancel culture. I'm going to cancel the cancel culture. Honey, there's nobody on the planet's been canceled more than me. Years ago, I worked with George Clooney, and we had a show that got canceled. And so we looked at each other and counted up how many other shows and pilots that we did that weren't picked up, and we both had 12 at the time. Well, he's sitting in a big Hollywood mansion. I'm still getting canceled. What was that last one? The Cool Kids. Canceled. Don't talk to me about being canceled. I know.
I love Leslie. I think it's Leslie P. Jordan. Love. That is consistency. He posts 3 videos a day on average, and always just a joke, hilarious, just what he's thinking about. And it's consistent, and I love it. And you know what? Whenever I need a really good laugh out loud moment in my day, that's what I go look at. So all of these pages that you follow, just list them out, and what is 2 to 3 emotions that each of them evoke. So one thing that I did is I did the same thing. I literally just did it with you. So I wrote out, what are each of the pages that I follow, and what do I personally feel when, these ones that I tend to go check every single day, and what do I feel, 2 to 3 emotions for each, and what do I feel when I go to those pages. And this idea of pure happiness, laughter, that nostalgic thing came up a lot for me, and dreaming bigger. Anything is possible. The ones that I wrote down, those really came up for me a lot. So that just showed me what my brand and what I valued in my own brand. Because I got news for you, dude. If you value something, and if you're drawn to something, chances are your following will be also. Usually your following will be a version of you either before you started your business, or before you started your journey, or before you found the service that you offer, or it's just you now to your core, and they just get you. That's your true following. And the more that you are authentically yourself, and the more that you can tap into the values that you truly love and the emotions that mean something to you, to your core, that's when you've figured out your brand. So what I did is I just started circling the ones that repeated themselves. So people that had their stuff together, like I mentioned, the girls that they had their outfits and they were on point. I love a brand that I'm like, they make me feel like I have my act together. So while I don't have my act together in terms of fashion all the time, listen, I teeter on either I am ready for a Hollywood red carpet, or I am what you see now. There is very rarely an in between. I would like to say I at least have tinted moisturizer on right now. I have nothing. I don't even have regular moisturizer on. I have nothing on. I literally put my rings on for the video. That is how. I'm not even wearing deodorant. At least you guys have the full version. So there really is no in between with me. Or I've got my act together and I'm ready in some sort of a sequin dress, and my hair is to the heavens, and I'm wearing high heels, which literally never happens. There's no like I said, no in between. The pendulum swings very heavily in either way. But I do have my act together when it comes to this, to branding. I have my act together when it comes to scheduling my day, when it comes to goal setting. So I started to think, well, why don't I share the stuff that I'm good at, that I feel like I have a hold of, that maybe the women that can put an outfit together, I can help them with their branding. And so I loved that idea of just having it together, having your life together, having some form of organization that you feel like you've got it together. So that was a big one for me. Nostalgia was a big one. Obviously feeling comfortable with doing things that you would have done as a kid. That's a nostalgic thing. It's like the smelling of the sunscreen. I love it. That's why I have a video. I always talk about this, but I have a video that I do every year around Halloween where I build a fort. It doesn't necessarily get the most views, but my true following loves it. They love it because it makes them feel like they're a kid. They're going to go build a fort the next day on a rainy day and sit inside their fort and eat some popcorn. And it makes me happy too. So I started to look at the consistencies in the brand values that mattered to me, to my core, and what had me coming back over and over and over again. So I circled those 3. Now those became my core brand values, and that was how I was able to stay consistent. So instead of looking at a picture being like, I'm going to take a selfie today of an outfit, and this will also save you a lot of frustration. So if I was to go to my closet right now and try to put together a really fashionable outfit and take a selfie, I would become frustrated. I really would. And there's been videos before that I've done on my channel where it's like trying to style outfits. You guys, those videos exhaust me because I know what I'm good at, and I know my strengths, and I need to take several seats whenever there's anything about styling because it's just not what I'm good at. Same thing with makeup tutorials. It's not, I like makeup, but am I a makeup guru? Oh, thank goodness no. Right now, I'm very glad that I am not. If you guys get that joke, thank you for laughing. And if you're not laughing, I'm so sorry. It's supposed to be funny. Listen, I just think that the audience that we have here, this little family that we have, you guys get me. We talk about goal setting. We talk about your future. We talk about organizing your life. We talk about organizing your home. But if I was trying to style an outfit, yeah, it can be a part of a video, but it's not my true brand. So knowing before I set up to film something or take a photo of something or even do a story, is it relevant to one of those 3 core values of that emotion that I'm trying to evoke? And if not, then I don't do it, because you know what? Deep down, it's going to save me a lot of heartache, because then I'm staying true to my authentic self, and I'm saving myself a lot of heartache, not trying to be something that I think I need to be for my following. That is not even the reason why they're coming to see me in the first place. And that is the vicious cycle that so many of us do. We try and be something we're not. We drive our audience away more because it's not why they followed us in the first place. The reason they followed you in the first place was to figure out and to have more of that positive or whatever emotion that you project on your page. And if you don't know what that emotion is, go look at the pages that you enjoy following, figure out what you value, and chances are that's what you're posting. And a way to confirm this is go through all of your most recent pictures, or if you're on YouTube, all of your most recent videos, or on Facebook, whatever. Go through, pull all of your favorite pictures and circle the ones that have the most likes or comments. That's the one that your audience likes the most. And you can also just go into your insights to do that, but that's the one that your audience likes the most. And I will bet my bottom dollar that that is the picture that evokes probably all 3 of the emotions that you follow other people for, because you were being authentic to yourself. And you know what? In the world we live in today, people can read through the BS. The BS meter is very, very sensitive nowadays. And we just want real. We crave real. Almost to a fault. We love it. And that's where, don't you just love when someone just shares their true authentic self on social media and you're like, she's a little bit crazy, but I like it. That's how I feel, at least. I don't know if I'm alone in that. But I do love seeing people's true authentic self, and I love whenever they are true to themselves and their values and the emotions that they're trying to evoke. So I hope that this helped you guys. To me, this truly is branding to its core. If you guys want to go follow that Instagram page, it's Build a Content Machine on Instagram. And I have I didn't even mention this. Maybe I should have started the video with this. I have a full ebook that is like dirty cheap, and it's on my website. The link is on that Instagram page, but I go through exactly like all of the stuff that I'm talking about, like branding in depth and how to be true to yourself and how to be true to your audience and just how to figure it out for yourself. So that's all in there. Also, I have other videos on, how I edit my photos, because I know that's always a question that comes up. How do you edit your photos? You guys, I need to create a preset for you guys. It's one of the most common questions I get. But other than that question, if that is a desire of yours, please let me know down below, and I will do my best to get that out to you guys. I am working on some very exciting stuff, and I wish I could flip around my laptop right now and show you, because I'm so excited. And it does have to do with branding. I can't tell you. So if you guys have questions specifically on branding or building a business on social media, drop them down below. If you are on the podcast, you can go over to my most recent Instagram page, or you can always send me a DM. But go over to my most recent Instagram post, not my most recent Instagram page, my most recent post, and comment down below and let me know that you guys were here. And I promise I will be posting more, because I love sitting and chatting with you guys. Again, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe, do all the things. Go follow on Instagram on all the pages. There's quite a few pages on Instagram now. We've got Angie Belmar, which is my main page, Angie Belmar Vlogs, which is all video. Kind of like Leslie P. Jordan. Love that. I'm just nowhere near as funny. Build a Content Machine. Carl the dog, Carl Belmar on Instagram. So you guys can go check it out. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys are watching on YouTube, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, dudes.
Let's go.